Our BPAS grant was awarded to Jose MartiMAST 6 through 12 Academy in August of 2012. Let me go ahead and just start off with just our partners. Having all of these partners and working with us directly has given our students the opportunity to have hands-on opportunities with science, to also have professional development for our teachers, and it has just improved the overall science experience for each and every one of our students.
The BPAS program is a grant that was created by the Committee for Economic Development as well as the Council for Educational Change.
The students of Jose MartiMAST Academy are planting native species that include live oak, slash pine, mahogany, pigeon plum, orange geiger, and many other trees and plants that are native to the South Florida community. The students have planted 80 plants, trees, shrubs, and ground cover, and the city of Hialeah has donated 75 cubic yards of mulch to be spread among the plants. The students of Jose MartiMAST are not only creating a natural area, they're also developing an outdoor laboratory. This outdoor laboratory can be used to study the flora and fauna of native South Florida species.
The Fairchild people send us someone to come here and look at the native forest and the garden, the herb garden. And we talked about different types of plants and things like we can do with them, like for example research. For example, the research behind us, a student is making for their science project for the entire years to come. Hopefully we can have this for not just now, but for the most time we can in the school year.
FIU started out with us and helping us be able to provide professional development to our teachers. They did a wonderful professional development at the beginning of the year for our faculty, which helped introduce them to STEM, because STEM for us now is a school-wide initiative. It's not just something that we focus on with the math and science teachers, but all teachers need to start incorporating a lot of the STEM concepts. So that was something that was new to our faculty. So Ms. Wells from FIU came out and did a very hands-on, very nice, simple professional development to help introduce the teachers to STEM and give them a little more understanding of how easy it was to use some of these basic STEM concepts in their subject areas.
Since that, we have then had multiple presentations for the students. Actually, we did one of them yesterday, which was in collaboration with the Honors College, where students from the Honors College came and interacted with our students and have formed relationships so that they can go back now and do research with those students, part of their 11th and 12th grade research projects. To that end, some of the presentations prior were scientists and doctoral candidates from FIU that came and presented to our students and gave them a glimpse of what research is in the real world, as well as what it can be and its diversity.
They came over to our school and they had us learn how the whole college experience and research project. They helped us a lot with the research that we're doing. They gave me ideas on what I want to do for my research project, and they inspired me.
LARC has been able to provide many workshops to our students. In November, Mr. Ruiz introduced the various aspects of technology through an iGaming presentation. Students learned that technology is not just about computer repair, but can also be about graphic design and programming. In February, Mr. Ruiz held 2 separate workshops, one for our male high school students and one for our female high school students. Students opened up desktop computers and under his guidance learned how to dissect or take apart a computer. They learned about hardware in a hands-on setting, much like what happens with the students enrolled in the LARC Technical Institute. I believe the girls benefited the most from this experience because it opened them up to resources, to an experience that they generally wouldn't have had on their own. They also felt more comfortable asking questions.
He told us how to take out parts like the RAM and like cables from the computer, and then we put them back together, and it seemed pretty cool. I wasn't really interested in technology before, but now it seems interesting.
Well, it was a very eye-opening experience because we had never been exposed to anything like this before, and by him coming in and actually demonstrating how to do this and talking about it, it was different, and it was something that a lot of us enjoyed and want to keep on doing sometime in the future.
Connection to technology with the whole unicorn, it was a cute little joke, and it was because people usually think that what's inside the computer, oh my god, you know, it's some like technical stuff. But in reality, when you open it apart and you realize everything and understand the full concept, it's not that magical.
Before I didn't really, because I didn't know much about technology. So now that it's been like shown to me, like hands-on, now I actually, like I consider it. It could be something that I want to do like for the rest of my life.
Miami-Dade has been an enormous wealth of information, assistance, mentoring, partnership. There aren't enough words to describe Miami-Dade. I think this year one of the very interesting things that they did was they allowed us to take our students to their campus to do labs in their labs with their teachers teaching our children. So this provided an opportunity not only for the students to see the possibilities and the future and the goal, which is for them to go to college, but then the teachers were able to be students and see it on that perspective, get ideas, and that spawned emails between teachers and college professors.
Activities which had wonderful results and that the students were just took a lot from it was our STEM panel of women. Those women were excellent in being able to communicate to the girls the challenges of being a woman in STEM fields, being that STEM careers are predominantly male right now and it's not the traditional pathway that most women have taken in the past. The girls really got a lot out of it, and it was wonderful. One of the girls that had maybe considered not staying at our school because she didn't really see how she was going to fall into the STEM, after that panel discussion came running to the office and told her counselors that no, she figured it out. She wants to go into computer engineering, and she's staying. She's not going anywhere. So that was very impactful, and it was a great experience.
All my perspectives were just so different after listening to the panel. I just had a more broad idea about what I wanted to become like 10, 20 years from now. I guess part of this evolution, you could say, can be all the field trips to Miami-Dade North Campus that have been so great to us. Having individuals come and talk to us from different STEM-related majors, and I think honestly I'm way thankful for them.
Miami Science Museum, we started off the year by participating. They invited us to participate in their Dust Bowl Summit. And it was a national summit via live webcast where our students participated in and learned all about the history of the Dust Bowl and how it affected. And they had discussions on environmental issues, on how to ensure that we can either prevent or help something like that from happening again. We've also then, from that collaboration, we were also invited to participate in prototyping a live surgery field trip. So our anatomy students were able to head on over to Miami Science Museum, and they witnessed via webcast a live surgery of a shoulder taking place. it was so realistic that I hear we had a few students that had to step out of the room because they were getting a little queasy. So it was actually great. The students really took a lot from it, and we've had lots of collaborations. We hope to expand that specific collaboration, and our science teachers will be getting together for workshops and collaboration over the summer to develop their lesson plans in advance, so that once we have the concepts, we know what concept the students are learning in class. We can then already schedule and already have on the calendar a day where we can attend the Miami Science Museum, and they will specifically design a field trip that will help engage students in that specific concept.
Able to ask him questions during the live surgery, and we were just able to ask him different things, including what was the tool he was using different radiation machines to help clean the wrist, and he got to know us a little better during the surgery to make everything comfortable, and he got to ask us questions as well after the surgery, and it was a very fun experience overall. I learned a lot of things.
The NASCAR experience that we went through this year filled a big gap that I was having in my program. When my students do research and development in designing a race car and building it and testing it and actually running it in a racetrack, the students never actually saw the relationship between the real life application of this project that they were doing. With NASCAR, we were able to look at the business, the sport, the technology, the engineering that's involved in race. It brought it all together, the real life application to what we were actually doing in class. The math and science, how it fitted to a real life industry and a sport that takes place.
NASCAR came out for a day, and they engaged the students right here. They brought out a simulation car and an actual race car that the students could see, and they engaged the students in team building events where they actually created little stock cars, and then like they were a pit crew, they selected one student and then they raced them. So students had lots of fun putting everything that they had learned actually into place, and the challenge of them competing against each other. And then the final phase was that we were able to actually go to the Miami Speedway and see it all live and see the racers on the track and do all of the fun activities that they had. So the students will never forget that experience. It was great. And in collaboration with them, we hope to be able to then create a curriculum where we can do the exact same thing but for our high school students, and maybe engage it so that we can do a little more higher order things and more career path for the engineering. So it's something that we're working on in the collaboration for them as we continue the partnership for next year.
During NASCAR's visit, I was able to sit in a real race car. It made me think of all the people in science it takes to run a race. I imagined being a part of the engineering crew someday.
NASCAR encouraged me to a better relationship with math and science, because like something so cool, you use so much math and science.
My experience in Women of Tomorrow has been great. This is because I've learned about many different women with different career paths, and they've all been very successful. That's where I would like to end in my future. Well, this program is to inspire young ladies to work hard and get into many careers that has been predominantly for men, but it shows us that we as well can be leaders.
My experience at Women of Tomorrow has been incredible. I mean, I've gotten to learn so much from different point of views of women that have accomplished in their life and actually got to somewhere that I would want to be in the future. It's inspiring me big time. I mean, I'm looking at life differently, and now I really want, since the age I am right now, I want to make sure that I know where I want to be by the time I finish high school.
My experience in Women of Tomorrow has been phenomenal. It has truly been life-changing. I've learned so much in the past 2 years than I have in my whole middle school and elementary years. So we've had a lot of speakers come to us and talk to us about their careers and their obstacles that they've overcome in their whole life. And I'd have to say my top favorite one was Kitty. I'll never forget that name. she interviewed us. She was a news reporter, I believe. And there was a group of us from Women of Tomorrow, and she started asking us questions that normally you wouldn't ask us. And that got to all of the girls. We were thinking so much, and we started speaking. And we actually made one of our teachers cry, because it was like so deep. And we talked about why we're doing this, why we want to be in MAST Academy, and why we want to pursue a career in STEM, and all the obstacles that we've overcome, and it was really beautiful. And that we could do it, and we are able to do anything we want as long as we study and we put our mind to it, and we don't have any things holding us back.
The zoo has been very instrumental with us in providing us with presentations and allowing us to take field trips for specific concepts that the students have been learning in class, and they really are just very engaging, and they're very interesting, and the students like it, and the teachers love the relationship they have with the zoo. So it's been very beneficial.
As a conservation teen scientist instructor at Zoo Miami, which is one of our BPAS partners, my job is to critique the performances of the CTS students. So if you're speaking in front of the, let's say, the taper exhibit, what I do is critique the performance of the students. I might give them suggestions on maybe speak louder or use the biofacts better, which are the replicas of the skulls of the animals. What I've noticed with one of our students here is Sarah. She's very articulate while she's working at the zoo, but that's translated into when she presents here in class for her research projects. So I see how comfortable she is, how well spoken she is, how informative she is, and I can tell that her work at the zoo has helped her here in class.
The Conservation Teen Scientist program is practically, I talk to the visitors at Zoo Miami about conservation and animals that are endangered, and I kind of like teach them about these animals. The most interesting experience is to be able to handle animals. You get to have personal interaction with the animals, not all of them, but a lot of animals. It helps a lot with speaking. Right, with projects, it's easier to talk in front of the classroom, and also to express your ideas. It makes it easier.
What BPAS has offered us in our second year as MAST, as Jose Marti MAST 6 through 12 Academy, has been so beneficial, because it has allowed us to see big picture of the importance of what we've become as a MAST and STEM school, but also nationally and globally the importance of STEM, and how in education, as hard as we try and as wonderful as we can be, and all the good intentions we have, we can't do it alone. And we need the business collaborations to help us not only engage the students, but really prepare them for their workforce in the future.
Thank you, Miami Science Museum.
Thank you, NASCAR!
Thank you, Zoo Miami.
Thank you, FIU.
Thank you, Women of Tomorrow.
Thank you, Fairchild Tropical Botanic Gardens.
Thank you, LOIC.
Thank you, Miami-Dade College.
Thank you, Council for Educational Change and Committee for Economical Development for partnering with Jose Marti MAST Academy.